The
more
split
theological.
of the
Now I'm going into
penile
what?
1 and the vaginal 0 caused the universe?
So your monad philosophically was developed by Pythagoras.
Okay.
It came from the study of astrology and cosmology.
Okay. What is it?
Okay, so it's what Pythagoras, basically the father of geometry, is what he developed
That
all
was
his.
Euclid. But go on.
I mean, people will argue it was Pythagoras who, really started it, and then Plato after that. And yeah. So Pythagoras, he came up with the term monad, right? And that's the singularity. It's really what all our Western society geometry is based off of. Is that concept down to our computer sciences.
I have so like I asked you what is a monad or what is it, and I don't have an answer yet.
So the monad is the singularity. It's the single point. It has, like you said, it has no. It's the zero, or not even the zero. It's the nothing before the numbers. It's the nothing. So would you agree that?
So monad is nothing. That's I don't think you want to make that statement because then I'll just say then monad doesn't exist. Goodbye.
No, not that. Here, let me bring up. I'm gonna bring it up. 1 second. Let me see if I can bring it up on here.
Is used in some cosmic philosophy and cosmogony to refer to a most basic or original substance. As originally conceived by Pythagoreans, the monad is the supreme being, divinity, or totality of all things. So, yeah, the singularity. I mean, not really, but
I mean, do you understand? Do you have a good understanding of it now? Is it better for you? So you asked me for the definition, and that's
I mean, I get it, but it's still completely an incoherent concept, I feel like. Because, like, what does this
why.
mean? All
Why do
of
you feel like it's incoherent to your understanding or to scientists?
Um, well, to the people that believe it, because if I read this, it seems to me that just kind of sounds like if I read monad in a modern scientific understanding, I would think, oh, hydrogen. It's the simplest form of everything from which everything else can derive because hydrogen's sort of like the simplest form of matter. Now we can actually break it down a little bit simpler than that. But no, it's also like the supreme being and totality of all things. Okay, so monad is the universe. Well, it's like all the things. It's so it. If I just say, "What does that mean?" or "Does that mean it's this?" all I'm gonna hear in response, I'm pretty sure is, "Well, it could be. I don't know." So
Well, so that's why I brought up this, right? It goes. This is functional programming, or the monad. This is basically your registry for Windows computers. It's based off of this kind of programming. The principle comes from the Pythagoreans or Pythagoras. The principle is, this. So is if we can develop human consciousness like akin to AI from something like this, so I'm not
then
gonna.
you said if we can do those things, then
Yeah, it
no,
has.
not yeah, then
You draw your own conclusion. I'm not going to tell you
yeah.
your
See,
conclusion
this is
for
what I
you.
meant by it's incoherent. You don't even know what it means.
Yeah, I'm telling you what it is. There has to be a higher God that creation itself sprouted from.
Why?
Creation itself sprouted from it, and it was separated from the darkness.
What evidence of that do we have?
Okay, so I can show you why the Pythagoreans thought that. But then you would, that's going into who is the God, not is there a God?
Let's go all the way back. What is monad?
Okay, so monad is the singularity, it's the single point which creation sprouted from.
So monad is the universe?
It is the start of creation.
What does that mean?
So it here, let me bring it back up for you.
I'm not even going to look at it. What is the start of creation?
Hold on. The start of creation is the monad, like the singularity.
Okay.
Like this is where quantum mechanics come from.
No, it is not. Quantum mechanics came from studying atoms themselves and the weird behaviors that they have, and light, I guess. So
Right. And
you
it's all
said monad
triangulated.
is
It's all
the
triangulated
creation of
through the
everything.
What's that?
You said monad is the creation of everything. I said what is the creation of everything? You said the monad. So this is just completely circular.
Okay. So I can talk about who is the monad and what they theorize the monad
Now,
to be.
now the
And what
monad is a person. It's a proper noun. I thought it was the beginning of everything.
Okay, so let me take a step back because I see what you're asking.
I'm going to write down everything that the monad is, and then at the end I'm going to read them back. Oh, what's the monad?
So it's the start of the beginning, it's the singularity. So I akin the monad to the singularity. So I
Okay.
can look up
The
the definition
monad
for singularity for you too.
The monad is the singularity, and the singularity is all forces in the universe combined into one, or all matter and energy in the universe combined into one.
It is defined as the function or the factor with additional structure. You see?
I have no idea. I'm not going to read that. I have no clue what that means. It is the factor that has additional structure. What
Right.
now?
Right.
What does that mean?
So there's numbers, right? Where they theorize the singularity comes from when they look at out in the universe, there's numbers that they see correlate that comes from it. That's when they're looking at stars and the planets in their alignment, down to the elements. So it's like,
So there's numbers in the universe that point to where the universe came from, and stars and stuff.
yeah,
Okay, good. I'm gonna
stars
write
and
that
stuff.
down. I'm gonna write that down too.
Well, I hear you being condescending, right?
I'm looking for an explanation, and I'm not getting
But I
one.
got the definition up there, like for you to read. Like, so you're asking
Yeah,
the question,
but if
I give it to you.
the
So I'm really giving it to your audience because got a lot of people in here believing the yap that you're giving these people.
I didn't give them
So
anything. You're the one telling us that something is the case. But like, you throwing up these definitions doesn't help you at all, because if I told you all glip glops are skibbity doos, that
Okay.
doesn't tell you what a glip glop is, because nobody knows what the fuck a skibbity doo is. Now I'm trying to
Okay.
figure out what this singularity is supposed to be or whatever, because you said it's the beginning of everything. It's a singularity. So like, a physicist would tell you that as everything we see in the universe collapses together, like the density of all the energy and matter goes up to infinity. And that's what this singularity is. But you're just telling me it's numbers where the universe comes from and stars and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a black hole and a white hole, like both sides of it. Personally, that's what I personally think.
Why?
But I'm bringing you up the definitions.
What's this the definition of? A singularity?
Monad.
Right, a monad. So both the concept of a monad and the term Originally come from research beginning in the 1980s and early 1990s for Monad law, Monad code, since monads make semantics explicit for a kind of they can also be used to. Okay, I don't. How does that help us figure anything out?
Okay. So I'm telling you, this is the beginning. This is where our universe as scientists understands it comes from. Okay? Would you agree on that?
No, I've never ever. I've talked to many physicists before. None of them have ever said anything about a monad, and they do not agree as to whether or not true singularities are even possible.
All right, that's subjective,
It's not
right? 'Cause
subjective.
it is, because this is mainstream science.
Did you? Okay, what did I just tell you?
You just said because I haven't talked to any scientist that said anything about a monad, then
No,
it must
I
not be
have
true.
talked to scientists and they don't reference it.
Okay,
I
just
didn't
because they
say I
don't
haven't
reference
talked to
it
them.
doesn't mean it's not true. Maybe you haven't talked to a scientist about this. That's subjective.
Blitz, hear my prayer. I summon Mulch! Or no, not Mulch, Blitz. I have no idea how to get him in here. Where's the share button? I am having a boomer moment. Whatever. Somebody else ask him to come up because I don't know. Okay, so I agree that some physicists think that maybe there really was a singularity, but otherwise, I don't know.
So you agree to that there's the possibility that there's a singularity?
Yeah, because I said physicists don't agree whether or not it actually is real.
I mean, that's how they get quantum mechanics from. The
No,
belief that it is real. It really sprouts from the singularity. Yeah, it
we
does.
no we started making advances in quantum mechanics is older than the Big Bang Theory. If we didn't know anything about if Earth was covered in, I don't know, if Earth had like a ring system like Saturn, and the ring system was so reflective that our telescopes we couldn't even see out into the sky because it would always be light pollution, we would still have quantum mechanics. So no, quantum mechanics is not derived from this concept of a monad. Quantum mechanics really began with Einstein. The thing Einstein actually won a Nobel Prize for was the photoelectric effect, and he's the one that gave us the concept of a quantum of energy. And then people studying the electron in the atom realized that there's really weird shit going on. And then I don't know when all those other experiments, I don't know the dates for them off the top of my head, but yeah, it's got nothing to do with cosmology. You could argue there's quantum mechanics science involved in trying to describe those very first few moments in the universes in the Big Bang model or whatever. That's perfectly fine, but we didn't develop quantum mechanics from that.
I
We
mean, our
applied
computing
it to
systems
that.
run off of it. Our computing systems,
Our computer systems run off of quantum mechanics.
of the theory of the monad.
I think I don't know what they call this, like an etymological fallacy or something like that. I think
I
you're
mean, I'm bringing.
saying
You can look it up right there.
it's not the case that okay, let me give a different example. Bluetooth, that's actually named after a Viking king. His name was Olaf something, I think. I don't remember. Or no, Harold. It was Harold. Ah shit, I can't remember his name. But he had a Bluetooth. And when the inventors came up with it, because Bluetooth is this technology that no matter what kind of device you're using, Bluetooth will work with it. So it united all these things. And that Viking king, Harold, whose nickname was Bluetooth, united the Denmark and Norwegian and I think maybe Swedish kingdoms together under Christianity. So they used his historical example as a sort of like influence or inspiration for Bluetooth and giving it not for developing the technology. They did that on their own. They grabbed that name because it reminded them of it. And they used the runes for his initials. That's what the Bluetooth logo actually is. Those two runes overlapped on top of each
All
other.
right, let's see if you're
So
intellectually
I'm literally almost done. So the idea that computer scientists or whoever came up with this programming lingo and were like, oh, monad, yeah, these like old philosophers, they had this idea like that, and they borrow the name. I haven't seen anything where the computing, I don't know what to call this, where like the way you do this function in computing or whatever is the same thing as this philosophical idea. So.
Okay. Well, you can look into it. There's, number of expressions that make it more sensible because you've never heard of it. There's male and female number expressions that we see throughout. Yes.
Yeah, like 1 and 0, male and female, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it comes from. You're 1 and 0. You're binary, right? So that's the start of it. So when you see these number expressions throughout that are actually, yes, I don't know why you're looking shocked. So
because
I'm not gonna do your
I
research
purposely
for you.
said the dumbest thing I could think of, and you agreed with it.
The 0 and 1, yeah, you're male and female. You're binary, yeah.
You're saying peen and
No.
vagine.
Don't act like you've never heard of that being the case.
No, nobody has ever heard of that.
Do you know what the 1 represents?
Square root of 69,
binary?
8 something.
No. See, now you're...
Are you telling me Lil
you're
Wayne
just being silly.
was a philosopher of math when he said square root of 69, 8 something? That's Lil Wayne, right?
Oh, look. Now you're pivoting. What
No,
what'd you say Ross
I'm
said?
clowning. That's what I'm doing.
Pivoting.
No.
So,
That's
I
Drake.
don't know.
Oh, shows what I know. I don't listen to rap music. I just know of the lyrics. Oh, I'm gonna get called such an idiot for that one. But anyways,
I'm not going to teach you life, but I just wanted to show you how a lot of the things you're saying you don't really know you're saying. But yeah,
okay.
this is basically what it's boiling down to. And if you're not getting the concept, then you're really lost.
I'm literally trying to learn, but you're not giving me any useful information. And then when I said the number 1 is a penis and the number 0 is a vagina, you agreed with me. So, monad in computer science, functional programming.
The 1 is a male expression and the 0 is a female expression.
Who told you that?
You can't have the 0 without the 1.
Who told you that?
Life. Studying.
Life, okay. So what's to stop me from saying I've studied life and by doing that, I learned that you are wrong?
Okay, tell me how the 1 doesn't express the male and how the 0 doesn't.
You're the one with
express the male.
so
And if numbers itself don't have male and female expressions.
you are the
That's
one
what I want to know from you.
You are the
How
one
is
with
that not true?
You are the one with a burden of proof. If you're claiming the 1 and the 1 is like the penis and the 0 is like the vagina, you're the one that needs to tell us what that means. My position is that is incoherent and makes no sense. I can't tell you how something that's incomprehensible is incomprehensible because it's incomprehensible.
Well, I'm telling you about the male and feminine energies and how they split apart.
You never
That's
once
what
brought that
happened.
up.
Okay, well, so the split of that is what caused our universe. Now I'm getting into more of a
The split of
now
the
I'm going into
penile 1
what-
and the vaginal 0 caused the universe?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Once
numbers.
again, what I did was I said the dumbest thing I could possibly say that was slightly related to what you said, and you agreed with it.
Yeah, because that's the binary of it. Do you know what binary numbers are? Do you think binary numbers are expressed in our, cosmos?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Could you give me an example?
All our computing systems run off of it. How we even study it, categorize it, how we do quantum mechanics, how we're developing consciousness.
Okay. Do you see this can?
Oh my God.
Oh, your God. Do you see this can?
Yeah, yeah, I see the
Is this can made of words?
It is. You want me to break it down to the periodic table?
No, it's just a yes or no question. Is this can made of words?
It's an expression of it.
It's a yes or no question.
It's an
Is this
expression of
is this
words.
can made of words?
It's just an expression of words and numbers. Yeah.
You're saying that this can is made of words.
You can type an expression of numbers in a computer.
Net,
and
this is
have
a
it form.
yes or no question. Is it made of words?
You can type an expression.
Is
Of
this
that
can
can.
made of words, yes or no?
Do you know what? Yes.
You think that this can is made of words?
It depends. Okay, so what are we?
I am
What
going
do
to
you think-
interrupt you.
I'm gonna say
Here's
yes.
why. Okay,
What do you think the
that's
can's made of?
atoms. Now I'm surprised you said yes because I thought we were going to get to a contradiction in the way you think. But I will give you credit for being consistent. When you say the universe is made of ones and zeros, here's why I think that's false. I don't think anybody would say a can is made of words. It's made of atoms, but words can almost perfectly describe the nature, the properties, the whatever of the can, but to say it's made of them doesn't make any sense. The words are abstractions that we use to describe the actual material thing. Now, that would be my position on the universe being made of ones and zeros. No, because it doesn't matter how far you zoom in on anything in the universe. You don't find number peens and number vagines doing this or anything like that. Binary, the code is just like a language. I mean, it is a language. And there's actually such a thing as like grammar in certain types of algebra, like Boolean algebra or whatever. But those are just descriptions of the things themselves. We came up with ways to describe them. They're not made of those things.
We didn't come up with numbers. We discovered them.
No,
We
we
didn't come up
invented
with
them.
the expression. We didn't come up with math. We discovered them.
Nope,
So they
we
were
invented
always
it.
here.
No. Like, we don't discover new prime numbers. We discover that the rules we arbitrarily made up for doing division apply to certain numbers in the number line, which we also invented.
So I could show you how the monad, what they thought about the monad. I know you agreed that there's a possibility that there is a monad, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know where you want to go from here.
I'm fine with the idea of an actual, like, of a singularity or whatever, but this philosophical monadism, I don't see where this takes us. But we got on the, we completely switched over to what the fuck is a male and a female number? I need to know this.
Well, I just told you it was the expression of binary. Sorry, I'm cold. My AC is blowing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you still. So I don't think you've actually given me an answer yet.
All right, what's your question?
What the hell does it mean that some numbers are masculine and some numbers are feminine?
Right. And I told you, you gave the example of the 0 and 1. The 1 split from the 0. You can't have the
What
1
does
without the 0.
that makes no sense? One split from the zero?
Yes, you can't have the 1 without the 0.
That's
You
not
can't
what
have a 0
something
without the
split
1.
from something means. I can't exist without my parents.
Well, philosophically speaking, we wouldn't have what's around us if that wasn't the case.
You do realize that historically, the number zero was developed after the concept of counting natural numbers, right?
Sure.
So if
I,
what you're
did, I,
saying
did,
about one split from zero,
I didn't know
that
one was developed before the other, but okay.
right. So the idea that the one split from the zero that it's required, that does not follow the arc of history at all.
Okay, does that mean the 0 was never there? According to what you just said, does that mean the 0 was never there or not
Zero is a
discovered?
representation of nothingness, and then it's used
Okay,
as a placeholder
right.
for the counting system that we currently use. Like Roman numerals don't have a
Does that
zero.
mean the
They would
0
count.
was
Hold
never
on.
there? You're being
Rome.
intellectually dishonest right now.
There's
Does
no
that
such
mean the
thing
0
as
was
zero.
never there? Because they didn't discover it doesn't mean it wasn't there.
There's no such thing as zero. It represents nothing.
Okay, so
What part of that do you disagree with?
the 0, we wouldn't have the 1 without the 0.
We literally went over how counting systems were
Because we're
developed
here
before the
and there was
concept of
nothing
zero was
before that.
developed.
So you're asking me how the transgression happened from the 0 to the 1?
You are arguing in bad faith without realizing it. You can't have the one without the zero because that means that something can come from nothing. Or I don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as zero. It's an abstraction, but the abstraction itself represents nothingness. Now, in counting, zero is used as a placeholder so that we don't, like, we can just pretend that,
No, 0 is actually a number expression. It's a number expression. 0 is a number. You can't say 0 is not a number. That's
it
intellectually dishonest.
represents nothing.
It's intellectually dishonest to say 0 isn't a number.
I didn't say it's not a number. I said it represents nothing. When I said zero doesn't exist, I mean there's no such thing as zero quantities of anything. That's kind of, it's almost like a paradoxical statement. How many of nothing is there?
But to have nothing, you have to have something.
That makes absolutely no sense at all. In order to have no money, you have to have money.
But money exists, regardless.
You think numbers exist.
Regardless, if the human mind was here or not. Yeah, I do. We're just discovering higher expressions of it.
Do you understand how you just contradicted yourself in consecutive sentences?
Explain it to me. How was I contradictory to
You
my statement?
said you can't have something unless you can't have nothing without something. Right?
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, you can't have money unless, you can't have no money unless you have no money. And then you said, that's not how it works because money is real or something like that. And then I
Yeah.
said, you think numbers are real, and you agreed.
Yeah, because just because humans haven't came up with the idea, right? So you said money, right? You gave an example of
Why am I
money.
doing this?
Just because I don't have money, that doesn't mean money itself isn't real just because you don't have it. Do you understand that? That doesn't make money itself not real just because you don't have it personally.
Yeah,
I'm
I know,
cold,
but that
Mikey.
that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I just told you how it did.
So, why
You just
is
said
the
I
number
was.
1 male and the number 0 female? That was the question I asked 10 minutes ago, and we didn't get anywhere close to that.
The male and female energies. I mean, I'm not a scientist, man. I can't really tell you, but that's how they observe it. Your one is your like your input, that's the power, right? And your zero is your off. That's like the off button. If you look at a computer logo, you have a semicircle with a line through it, right? That's your power. That
This
that line through it symbolizes power, and the zero means off.
this is the most sophisticated form of misogyny I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, you can look at your power outlet. The zero represents off, and the line represents on.
Great. What does that have
So
to do with
you're
what does
telling
that
me
have to do
how
with peens and
misogynist when
vagines?
that's the expression of it. Like how you have a power cord, you have male and female plugins. That's an expression. You're saying misogyny, but one can't happen without the other. You have to plug in something. You got to have both.
We could live in a universe where there's no such thing as biological sex. In fact, that was the case for quite a long time. Bacteria, they just do binary fission and they reproduce copies of themselves. There are animals that even do that. They just make copies of themselves. So on this planet, all life that is divided into biological sexes could be eradicated, and then what? Everything would just be female. I think the females are actually the dominant ones
Like, again,
because you
just
don't
because you
need,
don't agree
buddy.
with
Life doesn't require males to even exist or continue existing. So who run the world? Girls. That's also a Lil Wayne lyric for all of you hip hop enthusiasts out there.
so we
Who
can
run the world? Girls. Lil Wayne, 2016.
okay, so are you agreeing that there's a higher female god and a higher male god now, or what are you saying now? So you have to agree.
Hold
So
on,
you're
hold
not
on. I'm
atheist
asking
now,
you,
right?
who run the world?
Are you agreeing that there's either a female god or a male god?
No. I'm just saying, who run the world? Girls. Chat, I know it's Beyonce, okay? I'm just trolling. That one I actually did know. So, who run the world?
I mean, if you know, if you want to say it's feminine, I can explain to you why I think it's a father figure. But until you have to at least agree on there's a male and feminine divine essence.
No, I don't agree on that at all. My point was, scientifically speaking, there don't need to be any males in the kingdom of life. So seems to me that girls would be fine without us.
I mean, that's subjective. I can show you an objective. Oh, nah. Yeah, kind of a theory, a philosophy behind it.
Objectively, scientifically
'Cause we
speaking,
can't really
if there
look
were no
at.
male organisms, then species that are divided among sexes would mostly go extinct, although there are some that do parthenogenesis. But life would continue with organisms that simply reproduce on their own. Now, at that point, you can just be like, well, now there's no such thing as biological sex. I mean, kind of in a way, but if the females are the ones that sort of like incubate and produce the next generation or provide the material sufficient for that, and the male just plays a part in that or whatever, but we can get rid of them and it still exists, then again, who run the world? Girls.